Welcome to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse?
With your host, Louisa Barton.
I want to be a famous rider. I should like to race.
Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital.
Truth is, I help horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Yeah, baby.
The Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honoring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor.
Welcome to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton in the studio with Jodie Everton from Chestnut Hill Arabians and the Ocala Stirrups program. We do so love our Arabians.
Yes, we
Jodie,
do.
welcome back.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Happy to be here.
Missed you a bit.
Thank you
Last
so
couple of weeks.
much.
Keeps
Yes.
leaving.
I'm going to be here for a little stretch though now.
She's going to be here for a stretch.
Yeah.
Apparently I need her. I've had a rough week, but we'll talk about that later on. We've got Dr. Cayot coming up in the next break. He's going to talk a little bit about ear hematomas. Jodie went, ew, when I text her that. Then we have our returning Paralympian here, whose birthday is this week, Kayla Vandewalt, and her trainer. And we're going to be talking to them here for a couple of segments and be sharing some of their experience overseas and what birthday plans we've got in black, white and gold. I've got to do something about that rather quickly.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll sort that out though, so I have to
That's
match
right.
the event.
I understand.
And then we're going to give you a little from Steve Haskin on the latest and greatest in the Thoroughbred world, and then wrap it up with my story. If it doesn't make you cry, it should. But starting out, let's talk a little bit about some upcoming things that are going on.
Yes.
That are rather important. We have got, I have trouble saying this.
You can do it.
Conversations about conservation.
Nailed it.
I nailed it. That's the 23rd of November at Ocala Breeder Sales. That is Horse Farms Forever. With Kevin Sheely here from the CEP discussing balancing the two worlds of both farms and industry. And Mr. Malone himself, who owns Bridlewood, who is also the largest privately owned farmland owner in the United States of America. So this should be a wonderful event. Sign up for it, get involved. Horse Farms Forever is maintaining our culture as the horse capital of the world, and we know how important that is. Seminole Feed Stores likes to appreciate their customers. I'm one of them. I like being appreciated. How about you? Tell us how you've been appreciated by Seminole. You can comment below. Seminole Feed Store is going to be the 25th and 26th of September at the Highway 40 West location. Lots of great specials, in-store giveaways, $1 off Seminole Feeds, $2 off Seminole Wellness.
And does that say 15% off?
Yes, 15% off in-store items.
That's a good savings
It's time to go
for
get
things
some
that you
piranha.
need anyway. It's a
Gonna
great
get
idea.
Some piranha. And
There you
speaking
go.
of piranha, it's almost like magic.
That is wonderful, Lisa.
The moment the obsession started, that appears to be a barn door.
Yes.
I would say, I hate to admit it, but the photo's black and white. I'll have to find it. But in England, it was different, and so that doesn't make me old, does it? But I can't walk on my first pony, Alice.
Oh,
It's actually my mum's pony, Alice.
that's sweet. So it started early.
Very early. How about
Yeah.
you?
It definitely started early. Horses were in my life early. I think the obsession started, and my parents did a lot of breeding. So seeing those foals
That's how they had
come
you.
through. Well,
Oh, you
that's
mean
true.
horse breeding.
They did some horse breeding. They had some lovely human foals too, but yeah, they did a lot of breeding. So seeing those foals
That
born.
just somehow sounds weird. My parents did
This
a lot of breeding.
this one's off the chain. I'm just gonna keep talking. I don't know what she's talking about tonight, but yeah, the obsession started. I think watching foals be born, watching them be trained, watching them grow up.
Awesome. And how old were you?
Probably, I don't know, 9 or 10 when I was that I have memories of babies being around. Maybe a little younger.
I was in my nappy
What does that mean?
diaper.
Oh,
British banter for Katie Wentz, if you're listening.
Okay.
In my nappy. I have my nappy on and I'm tiny and I can't walk and I'm sitting on Alice, and I think that's when I said, this is it.
This is my thing.
This is my thing forever.
Yeah.
And actually, funny spin-off of that is that years and years later, to this day, my parents still say, but you had the horses. And when my brother got the Jeep Wrangler that I wanted, and I got
that
a
was
Chevy
the answer.
Chevette, I was heartbroken because I wanted the Jeep. And my
Crummy
mum
comparison.
said, but you had the horses.
Oh, yeah.
I always had the horses. That was why
that was your
I
thing.
didn't have any of the other things because I had the horses.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I mean, now I get it. As you know, it costs money.
Yeah.
To have horses.
You
But
got to make some choices.
yeah, it was okay. It was worth it. It's been a good life.
That's good.
I've never been without them since I was old enough to know what one was.
There you go.
So please comment below and let us know how your obsession started, or you can message us if you'd prefer. We'd like to share that on the show next week, so please do comment on that. Upcoming Horseween, October 29th. That's so much fun. There's nothing better than horses in costumes. I actually have a message I forgot to answer if you're listening about the Mustangs. Yes, of course we want them to come. I will answer you on that later. Horseween, October 29th at the Downtown Market, hosted by the Equine Initiative, presented by Piranha. This event is brought to you by Miller & Sons Plumbing. So if your loo is blocked up,
Give them a call.
Give them a call.
Yep.
Or if you have a major project, Miller & Sons, they are your go-to for all your plumbing needs. And they also install Piranha spray systems now as well.
That's right.
We do love those partnerships, don't we?
Yeah, and some
Horseween will be
super nice
great
guys
fun.
on top of that.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
And we're going to have horses, dogs, and kids and adults, all in costumes. And we're going to have a contest for all with prizes. So that should be a really, really fun event. So make sure you come down. We'll have candy and giveaways and trick-or-treating. One more event that we have to go to.
This sounds like a lot of fun.
So I'm going to tell you about it instead. Wild West Murder Mystery.
Yes.
I'm wondering if perhaps this could be a car dealer. No, I'm just kidding. Saturday, December 4th, 5 to 9 p.m. at Stirrups and Strides Covered Arena. Ladies and gents, put your Super Sleuth cowboy hats on and mosey over. Sounds funny in English.
It
accent.
does.
Mosey over to Stirrups and Strides for a fun and wacky Wild West Murder Mystery dinner. Beer and wine cash bar, silent auction, theme baskets and drawing prizes for authentic Wild West 1890s best get-up.
I am
David Helmuth should
so
definitely
excited
come.
about this. So the organization is Stirrups and Strides. I'm sure you just said
Yes,
that.
it is.
And Betty Gray,
amazing.
she was amazing. I think this is such a clever way,
I do
such
too.
a fun event to raise some money for her program. And actually, I just posted on my Facebook page. I think we're in that 24 hours of giving for Stirrups and
Yes,
Strides.
we are.
where-
21 to 22. Yes,
Okay,
you're
where they're
spot
going to
on.
match sponsorships that are collected in the next, I think, between now and tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you don't know more about that, check out my Facebook page. We can post it though, can't we?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
For
Good, because
sure.
they'll take obviously anything that you can do to help. They would appreciate.
But I want to sit at the table with, we want to sit
Oh,
with you.
for sure. I'm going to bring my buddies Joe and Rob, and I think we are going to have a really good time at this.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
$75 a ticket. This all goes to Stirrups and Strides Therapeutic Riding Center, which is a 501c3 that helps disabled, physically and mentally disabled children and adults and veterans.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a wonderful program, and they do a lot for our community, and we love what they do.
For sure.
So this is a way to have fun,
Yeah, you get a great meal,
solve a murder mystery.
some entertainment.
Apparently the
You can
bank
dress
is
up,
going to be hanging behind them.
which I'm definitely.
something.
Oh yes, we did have intel that the banker has been killed.
Yeah.
The banker has been murdered.
So I think this is great, December 4th. And, don't forget November the 5th, of course. Guy Fawkes Night, which is
Okay.
holiday.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
How many minutes do we have left, guys?
All right,
Only one.
we'll talk about
so
that in a
we
minute.
burn a guy. Guy Fawkes tried to blow up Parliament in the
Oh.
15, was it? 17? I can't remember. But anyway, they burned him
difference,
at the stake.
1500s,
So we made
1700s.
I can't, my history is like, what? So I'm going to get into trouble with Tom Schmitz. I have to
That's
Google
okay.
Guy Fawkes.
All right, Google it. Let us.
Burn a
You
guy on November
message
5th.
me and let me know what that
Didn't
means.
hear it here.
Oh my word.
We'll be back in just a minute with Dr. Adam Cayot up to the Horse Farms Forever.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second segment of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton, in the studio with my co-host Jodie Everton from Chestnut Hill Arabians and the Ocala Stirrups program. And joining us by phone, Dr Cayot from Peterson and Smith. Welcome back to the show, Dr Cayot.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Very nice to have you with us. So our little piranha template for the night was, when did the obsession begin? But it was a little girl opening the barn door when she fell in love with horses. When did you fall in love with horses, Dr. Cayot?
It's a good question.
First time you made a paycheck.
I just always loved them. You know, I mean, I always liked them. I grew up on 20-acre farm.
Did you?
And we had sheep and some cattle, and I had the horse bug, and nobody really knows where that came from because neither of my parents really ever had any horses. My mom was a city girl, and my dad grew up on a farm, but the only horses they had were horses that helped work the farm.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I don't know where that came from. That was just
you just loved
innate DNA, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, you know, maybe if you family treed it back, you might find some real horse lovers back there, you know. And some, you know, some people are just born with an affinity to them, aren't they? Really. Yeah. You know, so there's some people who couldn't care less if they ever see a horse.
You're right.
And there are other people who just can't live without them, no matter what.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So you just must have been born with the bug.
I just born with the bug. Got it, much to my folks' dismay. But
well, we're certainly glad that you were born
with
the bug.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
For sure. I think it worked out pretty well for you.
Pretty good. Worked out pretty good. You got it.
Now you get to help them all the time, and that's
That's
a
right.
wonderful job. So
that's right.
Let's talk a little bit about ear hematomas. You said you actually launched one today.
Yep, sure did.
Now, usually these start from an injury or an allergy or something along those lines. Is that the most common occurrence for an ear hematoma?
Yeah, the most common occurrence is from them scratching their ears. They get it, you know, this time of year. Sweet itch is you know, I think we've talked about that a time or two on the show. And you know, the ears are one thing that just get eaten up by the bugs, and some horses really react to it, and they just sit there and they'll scratch them on the tree, on the fence post, on the stall wall, anything and everything they can scratch their ears on, and that trauma then causes the hematoma. And it can be very painful. It can be very painful for them. But it's like they can't help themselves, you know. It hurts, but then it feels good when they're sitting there scratching.
That's so true.
Then it's like, and it's really hard for the owner to deal with because they don't want you to touch their ears, and the only way you're going to help them is to try to touch their ears, and so that's generally when I get involved, and that's what happened today.
Yeah.
So like we were trying to help this horse, and we need some sedation, and so I went out there and. You know, we ended up sedating the horse and basically lancing it open and letting.
That was your ooh today.
It's usually blood,
pus and goo,
serum, just nastiness that comes out. And the bad part about that is generally when it heals in, you end up with a cauliflower ear, basically. So you got this misshapen ear, but you know, it does affect their appearance a little bit. So you don't want that to happen. The best thing to do is to try to jump on it early and keep them from scratching as best you can, and keep their allergies at bay. You know, with steroids and antihistamines and things like that help and management to keep the bugs
I've
off.
tried the fly masks with the ears, but my horses keep scratching the ears off the fly mask.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't even work, and you just end up spending more money on fly masks.
Yes.
Because they sit there and rip the ears out and everything else because they're sitting there,
so true.
you know, scratching them and tearing them up. But But yeah, that's the most common cause from it, and it stinks. Usually I do see it in the older horses that tend to be just turned out in the field. Typically your show horses don't do that too much, and I don't know if that's because they're inside more, so their environment's a little bit more controlled, but it's usually seen in those guys that spend most of their time out in the field.
Yeah, so you know some good roll-on fly repellent. Piranha actually has a good roll-on, I think, that works quite well. You roll that on up the top of the ears. That really will help keep the
anything to keep the bugs away, the no-seams, that's the main culprit.
We don't have a photo of Dr. Cayot tonight. We like seeing his handsome face.
His mom actually commented about the bug of the...
Oh, his mom did? What did his mom say? Dr. Cayot, mom's got a comment.
As soon as Adam knew the difference between a dog and a horse, he wanted a horse. Probably about age 3.
Oh!
He had to wait till he was 9.
He had to wait till he was 9.
And did 4-H and 1.
And did 4-H. Once he knew the difference between a horse and a dog, Mum says. Thank you, Mum, for those comments.
I can't even tell lies on here.
I know!
Back me up. I can't tell big stories or fishtails either.
What's Mum's first name, Dr. Cayot?
Jane.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jane. We love input on this show, and we appreciate you turning him in. You had a question, I think.
Well, what you were describing, I think, kind of answered it. I wondered, being in Florida, when you take the bridles off the horses, they're always so sweaty and grimy. And I noticed if we don't make sure we clean them up really well when we're hosing them off and really clean up that area, they'll want to go in their stall and itch and rub. And I didn't know if then that could cause what you're describing.
Well, it could if they do it a lot. But really what ends up causing is really the excessive scratching when they're out there all day and they're just scratching on that tree or whatever, Just a little bit of scratching is fine and normal, but, they really get in there, the poor suckers. They're hurting so bad, and it's just so irritating that they basically want to rub their ears off, and that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. I can relate to that. When I get a mosquito bite, I scratch it until there's nothing but a crater.
Nice.
True. Great. And it feels so good until afterwards, and there's an ugly thing, and then there's a scar, and I always think, why did I do that? But at that moment, I can relate, because it was like,
she's going for that short-term relief.
There's something about how much in pain can I put?
How much can you tolerate?
Myself? Yeah, how much can I tolerate until it doesn't itch anymore, and then you look at it and go, why did I do that? So long-term outcome is good if you're treating it and you get on top of it, right? Medicine and take all the necessary steps.
Yep. But if I end up having to come out and lance it like I did today, you're going to have an ugly ear left. But it is.
And is that going to stay ugly, or does that kind of...
Yeah, it'll stay ugly. Yeah.
Stays ugly.
Unfortunately, it'll stay kind of gnarly looking. But,
so prevention's much better than...
Prevention's much better. Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
And maybe if you have horses that are turned out 24 hours a day and one's having a problem like that, maybe you try to bring them in a little bit more, especially in the heavy bug times.
Especially at night for the no-see-ums. That's when they like to hang around and do their damage mostly. So if you can at least bring them in during the night, put a fan on them, put some Piranha or your favorite bug repellent on.
Sure.
Then that can help out a lot.
That can help reduce that, and at least during the time that they're suffering with it the most anyway, and go back to your normal schedule later. But the summer's hard on horses here anyway. There's a lot of things out there that want to eat horses at this time of year.
For sure.
Yeah. We're almost at the end of it, though. I keep telling myself that.
Yeah.
Dr. Cayot, I want to thank you so much. I know you're on the way to a game with the kids, so enjoy, and hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks so much.
Dr. Adam Cayot, or Chaotic, as we've now renamed him.
Adam Coyote.
Coyote, I like that. We'll be back on the Horse Talk Show in just a minute. We got a couple of guests coming up here to join us who were at the Olympics. Rather exciting. We're going to be talking to a couple people who just went through an experience that's pretty incredible. So
you're going to want to listen to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good story. On the Horse Talk Show, we'll be right back.
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and Larson Hay, our broadcast and television sponsor, plus supporting sponsors, DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Piranha, TT Distributors, and the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Louisville.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Thank you. It's something we want you to know at Seminole Feed Stores. We want to show you how much we care by having our annual Customer Appreciation Sale, September 25th and 26th at our 40 West and Bellevue locations. We invite you to enjoy $2 off Seminole Wellness Horse Feeds, $1 off all Seminole feeds, 15% off in-store items, and much more. Our 40 West location will also feature food trucks and a Grand View Clydesdale. Come see us September 25th and 26th with store hours at 40 West, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sunday. Our Bellevue location will be open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. Find us on Facebook or Instagram at Seminole Stores. It's Seminole Stores Customer Appreciation Day. With a prize for every purchase, we make it easy to provide you the ingredients of a winner.
Horses! Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the third segment of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton in the studio with my co-host, Jodie Everton from Chestnut Hill Arabians and the Ocala Stirrups program. And over to my right, I have Trisha Bell and Kayla Vandewalt. And they are back from Tokyo. And of course, Kayla competed in the Paralympics. First time for her. First time, I think, out of the country for you, right, Trisha? Yeah. Your first international trip? Yeah. So we're going to hear a little bit about their story. Guys, welcome back to the show. It's lovely to have you with us again. It's wonderful. And I'm excited to hear with you too. You know, I was like this the whole time. You've got, what's happening? Where are they? I'm like, thank God for social media because I can watch their trip.
I tried to keep up until we could.
Yeah, you did good. You did good.
Well. You really did.
Yeah, your mom kept us posted. And yeah, it was nice.
It was awesome. What an experience. So we'll start with the journey. Well, let's start with getting ready for the journey. How the heck did you get ready for a trip like this with everything you need for you and the horse and you as the trainer? And my gosh, was that like
list.
Massive? Yeah, lists.
Lots and lots.
Not lists like mine, I hope that I lose.
Double check them.
Yes. Yeah, going back through and through and through.
Because it wasn't just like lists for us. We had to make sure that the horse had everything too. Because if we left something behind, we'd have a problem.
It's not like you can just pop down to the dollar store and pick it up,
right?
Right?
Allowed to take stuff that we couldn't take, stuff that we could take. So.
Gosh.
What was there anything that you couldn't take that you wanted to take?
You know, certain supplements, certain grains. Like the hay.
Really?
You couldn't take hay.
You can't take hay, so you just
you had
get
to
hay
order
there.
the hay, so you had to tell them in advance what type of hay your horse got, because they only had one company that was providing the hay for the Paralympics.
And
So
they didn't have Timothy in Germany.
and yeah, so we had to kind of switch over him, and then he got Timothy in Tokyo, but all was good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's like a real concern when you're traveling, because you're already putting your horse through this enormous trip and traveling and long journey and everything, and then you've also got to face like a hay change, which can be a big thing for some horses. Now he is pretty cool.
Yeah, he was easygoing.
He's pretty like whatever.
Then you had to take enough of the supplements unopened, because nothing, your grain or supplements can be opened going to Tokyo. So it's not like you could use the same ones.
Right. Yeah, you really had to do something.
Pretty much everything had to be brand new as well, unless you had to like disinfect it and stuff, because they were very strict on that kind of thing.
Gosh, so there was really a lot to think about, a lot to get ready, and a lot of preparation to make it all happen. So you went first of all to Germany. How long was that flight?
Let's see. For us, it was about a 10-hour
10 hours
flight.
from Atlanta.
And you don't travel, forgive me for being ignorant, you don't travel with the horse?
No, they had grooms and stuff specifically on the flight just to take care of all the horses, but we didn't get to go on them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think now I would love to fly with them.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Wouldn't that be an experience? I think that would
They
be
say
so
it's
great.
very cool.
Oh, really?
They have to
They
keep it pretty
very
cool for the horses, yeah.
Ah, makes sense. Now, do they tranquilize the horses for the journey? No. So they just go in, it's like going in a stall? And
Yeah, they feel like they're just in like a normal horse trailer.
We should have asked Dr. Cayot that.
I don't know how we would know that, but
How would you know? They don't have to do this.
yeah.
Like
Give
we
them
do.
gum.
Yeah.
Put a bag over there.
I wonder if they get a sensation though, like we do. You know, you get that sensation like your ears, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if horses get that. Will we ever know?
I don't know, Louisa. One of the things we will always
Shame.
wonder about.
We'll have to
Call
talk
your
to the
son.
animal
Yes,
communicator.
that's right. Oh, right. Yeah, the animal communicator.
There we
She'll
go.
know.
She might know.
She'll know.
She could ask.
So-
okay, let's get back into it here.
Yeah. So Germany, was it beautiful? Never been.
look at
Country
that.
I've never
Oh,
been to.
I thought it was very pretty. I mean, we couldn't explore too much because of we were technically in a quarantine ourselves as well. But we did go to a few
look out windows,
places.
I know, and he's so cool.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's like so chill.
I know.
I'm in Germany.
I know.
Look at me.
That's funny.
That was
He
the
is
first
posing
day.
for the camera.
Oh, he's a poser.
Yep.
He's so smart. He knows everything you say to him. This
I
horse is
love
like, you'll
this
meet
one.
him.
Look at this
Oh, no, you
photo.
won't meet him this weekend.
I
You'll
met him
meet
when we were at the
soon.
when we
That's right.
went out to see them.
Yes,
yeah.
you did. It's beautiful. Look
I
at
love
that.
this photo. Yeah.
So Germany was amazing, and you were there how long?
We were there for a week.
A week in Germany.
We like the bakeries in Germany.
Oh,
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
Very good.
Bakeries
Nice.
in Germany, England, France. Oh my, I like the best. The bakeries are like, oof, I'd be so fat if I lived in England. I would. So, and what was the weather like in Germany? Was it sort of like here or?
It was actually not too bad
it was
until like
pretty
what the
cool.
last 2 days. It got a little cooler than usual, but
I
for
mean,
the
it was
most
way
part.
better than the real Olympic people had a ton of rain.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So the Paralympics, we kind of lucked out on the. I thought it was cold because I like to be warm. But,
Right.
I mean, it was cool.
Yeah. And what was the reception like in Germany? Were you received very well and you felt very comfortable and
Yeah.
you got to go and where did they put you up nearby the horse? You
We had to find our own hotel, but we got one that was probably like 10 minutes away or something. Not even.
Not too far.
10
And he
minutes.
settled in. Just settled in just fine.
Acted like he was been there forever. Yeah.
That's so nice. That adds a level of comfort to you
Yeah.
too, because when the horse is stressing, it's hard to
He
get
flies
started.
Yeah.
really easy, loads very easy, unloads easy. I mean, he's
Everyone said he was the best horse on the flight.
I love it.
So.
He's travelled
A
a
good
fair
boy.
bit with you, right? Before
Yeah.
between here and South Africa, right? Has he
no,
been over
we
there?
got him
No, he
here,
hasn't
yeah.
been. Oh, but he flew over from Spain.
Yes.
So he's already done some journeys, isn't he? So handsome.
He is so cute.
He's adorable. So you were in Germany for a week, and during that time, are you preparing? Like, are you training during that time?
Yeah, so we got to
you're
train
riding-
during the whole thing.
Love him.
he did a lot of napping.
He did.
You know what? The
His
best horses
favorite.
nap. It's the same in the racehorse world. When I go behind the scenes in the racehorse world at the back, the back side of the track, the best, most athletic, winning horses sleep. They rest. They just know how to rest.
Yeah,
and
we
sleep.
find that at the horse shows too. Because it's the ones that are most relaxed that take advantage of the downtime.
Yeah, they do.
And some of them
Smart.
just don't, and it's hard. It's hard when they don't.
Yeah,
That's
really
great.
Cool. That's awesome. So you trained every day in Germany.
Yeah.
You rode. How were your nerves during that week? Were you were you feeling it?
I wasn't quite feeling it just yet. I think it more. I actually figured out the nerves hit me as I was going into the main arena to do my test. Then I was like,
oh my gosh.
Okay, this is actually happening. But then I was like, okay, just breathe. You're fine. It's just like a normal show. And then got
And then
under
you were
control and
comfortable.
just focused.
And did you meet other teammates from South
yeah,
African
so I
team
had-
during the Germany, or not until you got?
Yeah, because they kept the horses all in their countries. So there was one other rider for South Africa, and I got to meet her. I've talked to her over the phone and stuff, but this was the first time I met her because she's based in Belgium. So.
Oh, okay. And how old is she?
Don't know, but she's been doing this for a very long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a very special day coming up this weekend.
I
you
do.
are going to be 21?
Yes.
Wow, it's the big one.
Big 21.
Yes. How exciting. Going to have a party.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I know, don't remind me.
I know, it's not, listen, stay young and a child as long as you can. Believe me, if I
Not,
can go
not
out.
all it's cut out to
Yeah,
be.
it's not, it really isn't. So then, at the end of the week, you're leaving Germany, you're going to Tokyo, and that's another long trip.
Yeah, that one wasn't too bad, I don't think. I feel like, because we were lucky enough
We flew to Paris And then we were in a long layover in Paris.
Yeah, that was fairly long.
And then we flew. I mean, we were lucky because there weren't that many people on the plane, so we like spread out across four sheets or something.
Yeah,
and
so we
was
could
able
pretty
to
much
sleep.
sleep the whole way, which was good.
I mean, it was like a 15-hour flight, I think. But
something like that.
We didn't notice because
That is one of the things that you guys,
Sleeping.
you're good travelers too, I guess. Huh?
And you had to deal with time changes
That
as
was-
well.
that was my biggest issue.
Yeah.
I really
Hard to know what time
had
of
a
day
hard
it
time
is.
sleeping.
We struggled a lot in Germany more than I think I did in Tokyo.
I think you struggled a little bit in Germany.
Yeah.
I struggled the whole time.
It was just like weird.
Tokyo was
It's called horse trainer stress. That's what it's called, people.
It happens.
Tokyo
It
was
is.
much harder for
Gigi
me. I had to
just
get
gave us
sleeping
the-
pills so I could sleep.
1
Sorry.
minute. No, it's okay. We're still fine. She had to have sleeping pills though. We're actually going to go to break. It's the halfway mark, so we're swapping over to Palm Chevrolet. I do love Palm Chevrolet. I mentioned how much I love dealerships like Palm Chevrolet. I'll tell you why later. But we'll be back in a minute because we're going to hear the rest of the story about competing in Tokyo as a Paralympian. Pretty exciting stuff. Stay with us.
Equestrians, it's time to take care of yourself as well as you do your horse. So get down to Pulse Center of Ocala. The PEMF wave is safe and it's a therapy that charges your cells and allows them to function at their fullest capacity so you heal much faster. Check them out at pulsecenterfl.com now and tell them you heard about it on the Horse Talk Show for a free demo. The Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honoring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this.
With your host, Louisa Barton.
What does it feel like to be in love with a horse?
Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience.
Back in the saddle again.
Now, here's your pretty Louisa Barton.
You're fab. You're switched on. You're a bit of all right. Yes. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Welcome back to the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Honest experience, I might mention. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louise Barton in the studio with my co-host Jodie Everton from Chestnut Hill Arabians, responsible for the Ocala Steering program. I love seeing all their pictures of the amazing little children at the barn riding.
Yeah, we're getting some new little ones. The beginner lessons are fun.
I love it. It's awesome. And then we have our special guests back from the Olympics. I'm excited to have Trisha Bell back here in the studio. She loves being interviewed on the show. So everything to do. And our Paralympian Kayla Vandewalt, whose birthday is this weekend, and I now have to find a black, white and gold purse. That's okay, because there's British chocolate at her house for me, because her mom got it for me at the British store on College Road. Well, actually, it's an Indian store, but that's okay.
We had some of the best chocolate. I don't remember where it was from though.
When was this in Tokyo?
Germany, probably.
It was in Tokyo, yeah.
Was it? Really? They have good chocolate.
It was like a
in Tokyo.
strawberry chocolate, wasn't it?
No, it was those little squares.
Oh, no, I got that on the way back.
You weren't allowed to
Where
bring
did
us any.
we get it? Did we get it in Paris?
No, we got it in the
No, we were
Tokyo
starving in
duty
Tokyo.
free. Yep. Because the airport had no food. Everything was closed.
Oh my
Cammy
gosh.
gave us some input during the commercial break we want to share with you, and that is horses' ears do pop. They do pop when they're flying, and they do all that stuff when they
So when they
yawn.
get off the plane, they show us maybe behaviorally that's kind of what they're doing.
Yeah,
trying to get their
yawning
ears to pop.
and yawning and opening
Working
their
their
mouths
jaw.
and, moving the jaw around to pop their ears. So thank you, Cammy, for input. Well done.
Learning things all the time with the Horse Talk Show.
To Google on the break to see if we can find out the facts. We love it. So you're in Tokyo, you arrived. What was that like? Because that's a totally different world. I mean, Germany is a little more, like us. I think Tokyo seems like it's a whole different world.
It's a very different culture.
Yeah, we arrived really late too, so
thanks, Lisa.
That was another thing.
You arrived really late.
Yeah, and then also I went to the Paralympic Village, and then Trish had to go to the equestrian park, so we weren't staying in the same place.
Oh, you weren't?
Yeah, so I needed one person had to stay with the horse, so Trish had to go, and she stayed on site, and then I went to the Paralympic Village where all the athletes stayed.
So they separate you?
Yeah.
So were you there with the other trainers?
Well, there was one trainer from
for the other rider.
For the other rider, but most of them were grooms.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
So you were like separated in a totally foreign country you've never been to? Oh,
yeah, pretty much.
But we weren't really allowed to travel around.
Travel anywhere else, so.
Like we saw Tokyo on a bus. We saw a lot more of it than
Really? So, of course, you've not been to an Olympics before. This was your first, but it must have been odd having all those empty seats with no people, right?
I didn't notice it too much because the last few shows we did here, there wasn't, they had no spectators either.
Sure.
And then, we did have a few
had
people.
More spectators than our
Yeah,
normal
pretty
shows
much, because everyone
all the
else
people
was there.
all the people,
Teams and stuff.
Right.
Came and watched. Yeah. So a really neat experience. And then how many days once you arrived in Tokyo did you have to kind of get ready for actually competing?
I think we had about a week.
Okay.
So we had, a little over a week.
And so you were able to train and practice and kind of
so we were allowed to ride in the arenas and all that, and then they obviously had specific times where they did arena familiarization. We had like 1 or 2 rides where we were allowed to go in there just to get the horses used to the arena. But obviously
Turo
didn't.
He didn't care, right?
He could care less.
Like, whatever.
He was like, oh, okay.
He is. I mean, he's just chill.
Yep, that's in the arena right there.
He's just happy.
Arena familiarization.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they get a chance to get used to kind of just the different surroundings.
Yeah, and they turn on the lights, and they have the timers going, and they have the screens on so that...
Pretty much exactly how
so
it
the
would
conditions are the same.
Yeah.
That's very smart.
Yeah, it is. It's
They
nice.
have all the cameras up so the horses can see them. Because there's one that's hiding up between the judges' booth that they climb up into. Looks pretty shady to me. But
yeah, because it had like trees around it and everything. I don't know why they decided to do that.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh.
But
surprisingly, most horses didn't
you
care
can see
too
it
much.
right behind the guy in the yellow. There's a green thing that's pretty tall. And then there's a guy up on top of it. See it? The black?
Oh.
You can kind of see it a little
Sure.
bit there. But yeah, so that's
for all the different angles they need.
that they get up on and it moves. And I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh.
okay.
All right.
Look at him.
Yeah, I mean, you need a seriously solid horse to deal with all that.
Yeah.
The only time he actually spooked in that arena was right when we were going in for our test. Picked up the canter to go in, and I don't think he noticed the one speaker. And so he kind of like leaped into the air and was like, what the hell was that?
We were all
But then he came, I laughed because I was like, I don't know what that was.
Like, what happened?
But then he came right back and was normal.
Okay, all right, good.
So the moment when you went in the ring to actually do your test, what were you thinking? I'm here. I'm at the Paralympics. I've made it this far. Was it like?
The thoughts were kind of running in my head more when I was first just going around the ring, waiting for the judge to ring the bell to let me go in. But once I heard the bell, I like kind of turn everything off and just focus on the ride. Except for Trisha's voice. I hear her voice in my head constantly telling me what to do.
Better stay active.
And then if I do something wrong, I'm like, oh, Trisha's going to yell at me for that one. And I'm always right.
So when you came out at the end after you'd done your test and it was complete, how did you feel?
I felt very proud of myself and of him. He felt actually amazing. I was very happy with my ride. I mean, we had little mistakes here and there, but I was very proud of him for it.
Yeah, for
he
sure.
felt amazing.
She made me tear up, and that's really the only thing she tries to do.
I wasn't looking.
It's
over
my
there, but
goal in life.
Did we air it? Did we air her test? Did we air her test? The video of her test.
That's the one video I got.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't get a video of my actual ride.
Okay, we have it somewhere. Lauren has it. I think we need to get one from her.
I tried to get it, but she couldn't.
Yeah, I think it's too long. She tried to send it to me, but so me being the technically challenged one, I'm actually the only one that managed to get my phone to cooperate and put it on your television at your parents' house. So I couldn't video it because I was afraid to touch my phone. I'm not touching my phone. I'm not going to touch my phone. So I said to Lauren, please video this so that I have it, So we'll share that with her.
I was like, somebody's going to video this. So I
I do know you can also watch it on the YouTube TV. Their Paralympic channel, they have all of them. So if you just find the grade 5 individual test, and I'm in there somewhere.
Okay,
I think
cool.
I was like the 5th ride.
Say that again. Grade 5
Grade
individual
5
test.
individual test. So
About
it was
the
the
fifth
very
ride.
first competition day.
Okay, first competition day on YouTube.
And I was the
Paralympics.
5th ride.
Okay, there you go.
So do you pinch yourself kind of coming back going, I actually rode in the Olympics?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Because also then seeing, you know, all the top riders that have been doing it like for a very long time. I think I was one of the youngest riders. It was, I think the next rider up, he was 21. So I was one of the youngest there. So that was kind of crazy too. But
That's
that was
amazing.
really cool.
Well, they didn't come yet, so I have to pretend. But the horse talk show medals, bronze, silver, and gold. They didn't come yet, and that was like, first of all, getting to be able to even qualify to go, and second of all, getting through all of that traveling, and you and the horse being so incredibly, at least in my opinion, perfect, and then getting out there and doing your very, very best. I was crying for you. I was like, wow, I cannot believe it. She got there, she did it, she competed, and all that traveling, and obviously all the COVID stuff that you have to go through to even get there.
We were like in one big bubble.
Every day.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yes, I know, and traveling now is so challenging. You know, for everybody, it's always challenging traveling with a horse because that's huge. Get ready and
Just an
all of
extra
that.
stress thing that they put on us.
Just
but
something else. Yeah,
we did it.
We
So
did it. We
we
were
got
5
through.
minutes from missing one of our flights. That was real scary.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
done that many times. Oof.
That was.
I can't believe we only got 1 minute left, guys. I just want to tell you congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
am so proud of you. I'm so glad that you're my friend. I'm so amazed by what you accomplished.
you.
You're blessed to have an absolutely incredible trainer and friend who
The
looks
best.
after you. Yes,
Oh.
the best. And a wonderful horse who is obviously made for you and perfect for you. So well done.
Thank you.
We love you and happy birthday. I'd sing
Thank
happy
you.
birthday to you, but you don't want me to.
No, thank you.
Yeah, you don't.
I'm not going to
You
do
might not be friends.
She's got a lot of skills. I don't have singing.
Gotta go
Gigi
to
says
break.
that's enough right
Yes.
now.
Hurry up. She does. Coming back with Steve Haskin for you. We've got a great interview about the up-and-coming wonderful horses that we're probably going to see at the Breeders' Cup and bring to you in person or in horse. Stay with us.
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet, and our broadcast and television sponsor, Larson Hay, and also to our supporting sponsors, Equisafe, Nirvana Medical Spa, Showcase Properties of Central Florida, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, and Summit Joint Performance. Horse owners know how much it takes to keep the barn mucked and spotless and the tack cleaned and our horses groomed to perfection, but we don't often take care of ourselves. Take time away from the barn busyness and do something for you. Equestrians don't ever do as much for themselves as they do for their horses. Now's the time to become a better, brighter you, just like your horse.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and services hassle-free and easier than ever, with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy. Find new roads.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. I'm Louisa Barton in the studio with a very special guest, the most handsome, most famous, and best turf writer in the whole world, Hall of Famer Steve Haskin. Steve, it's lovely to have you back with us. Thank you for joining us.
Well, it's my pleasure. That first description, though, I think you turned everybody off by that. Anybody who knows me knows that the first part's not true, so now they think that all of it's not true.
You're silly. Hey, listen, we were talking a little bit before we started on this interview here, and our best wishes here from our team are with you in all the recovery from Ida. I know I'd seen on the news that up north got hit, but I had no idea you were so close to all of that. So my best wishes to your family and friends and everybody in that area as recovery is going on. I know it's the weather's just been a crazy thing lately, so certainly
really
our thoughts are with you. But hey, let's talk horse. How about that essential quality? Didn't you say he's just like Buck Passer?
I did. And, I know it sounds now, people think, oh, how can you compare essential quality to Buck Passer? I didn't compare them as far as talent or what they've accomplished. The only comparison I made was the fact that they both win their races the same way, which is they do just what they have to. Yes. Now, Buck Passer obviously, he won 25 races. Mm-hmm. But if you look at all of his margins, it's a half, 3/4, a length. Mm-hmm. The vast majority of his victories were by less than a length.
I know. I think essential quality is a smart guy. I think he just wins by what he needs to. He knows where the wire is, right?
He does. I mean, sometimes you watch a horse and you look at his certain qualities. Now, he's not going to go out. He's not going to break track records, although all his times have been fast, but he's not going to blow you away. He's not going to win by 10 lengths. He's not that type of horse. He's just, and I would say, like Buck Passer and, like several other great horses that I've seen, they're just going to win. Mm-hmm. They find a way to win. They can find a way, if the pace is fast, they can find a way if the pace is slow. They put themselves where they have to. And he's the same way when he works in the morning. You watch him in the morning, you say, that wasn't that impressive a work. Mm-hmm. But he knows it's I don't want to put human qualities in him, but he knows it's a workout. He knows he's doing just what he has to. And if there was one thing you have to know about the horse, and I've visited him in Saratoga, and what I saw is what subsequently I heard everybody talk about him, and even saw videos put out by the assistant trainer. And we were out there, and he came right to the webbing, and he was playing with my wife, and they were having a good time together, and he looked great, and he was bright and alert, and he went about his business. And then Brad Cox's son, who's his assistant, came with his feed, and he wouldn't even wait to let him get into the stall. He was reaching out and eating the feed before it even got to his stall, and he was doing great. And then we left. We walked down the shed or so, and then we came back, and he was standing by the webbing, and his eyes were like 3/4 closed. And they could say, all of a sudden, this horse is like getting, sleepy. Mm-hmm. So we left again for a couple of minutes. We came back, and he is sprawled out, fast asleep. And I said, you know what? That's what I love to see. A horse who knows how to take care of himself.
Yes.
And then, as it turns out, that's the way he is all the time. And like I said, his assistant trainer took video of him and a photograph on the morning of the Jim Dandy and the morning of the Travers. And both mornings, he's laid out, sprawled out in his stall, fast asleep. And that's what the good horses do. They know how to take care of themselves.
You're right.
And he goes out there, and he knows how to win.
Yes, he
and
does.
what manner he wins is immaterial. He just goes out and he wins.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And how about our Medina Spirit? I mean, my goodness. And a quick mention, by the way, for Essential Quality. He actually started his training here with our buddy Niall Brennan and his team, and they sure do a nice job getting these horses started here. They do it right.
I've spoken to Niall Brennan about him, and he pretty much just said the same way. That's the way he's always been.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. If you look at the Travers, you look at a horse like Midnight Bourbon, who I always thought, he's by Tiz now, and he's ready for a breakout race. If you told me he was going to go out a half in 48 and 4 and 3/4 and 114 and 2 by himself, I said, there's no way he's going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
As it is, he flew home. And what his Essential Quality does, he comes home his last quarter in 23 flat. And I've got to say, I've been following horse racing for a long time. In a 1.25 mile race, I've never seen a horse. I don't care how great they are. And we're going back to the 60s. I've never seen a horse come home in 23 flat in a 1.25 mile race.
Yeah.
And he wound up getting a 107 buyer. He wound up getting a strong negative Thoroughbred number. And he still ran as slow as the pace was. He still wound up running a respectable 201 and 4. And listen, only 8 Travers winners have broken 202 in the last 27 years. So he wound up having a more than respectable time off of those slow fractions.
Yeah.
And if Midnight Bourbon had gone out there in 22 and 45, well, he would have been seven lengths off the pace instead of sitting right behind him. So he just puts himself, he just seems to know where he should be.
He's very
Either
intelligent.
that and he listens to Luis Saez. Luis Saez wants to put him 7-8 lengths off the pace, he'll go there.
Yeah.
And he wants him to be right up on the pace, he'll go there when the pace is slow. So he's just an incredible horse.
He is a smart boy, that's for sure.
He's going to have to cope with his, you talk about the battle of the Greys in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I mean, Brad Cox has got Nick Sko, who is a totally different type of horse.
Yeah.
He just goes out to the front and says, "Run with me and you die, and don't run with me and I win."
I know, right?
So he's reached a point now. Nobody's going to want to run with him.
That'll be the Brennans and the Demericks having a little contest there, because Jackie and Nick Demerick gave Nick Sko his start right here in Ocala also, so there'll be a little contest going on there, Demericks versus Brennans.
Yeah, well, you got a tremendous Florida connection there for sure.
That's right. And then speaking of that Florida connection, good old Medina Spirit, born and raised half a mile up the road from my house.
Listen, you could have gone to see him when he was a baby if you wanted to.
I know.
If you knew how to spot these horses early on, you'd go out there and you would have gone out there to watch them being born. If you knew.
I know, you're right. Maybe I should just go and see all of them born here. Just in case.
Well, the thing is with Medina Spirit is that it's very simple. If he's in front of the quarter pole, good luck trying to pass him.
Yes.
He's tough.
He is.
He's a horse that's going to come and get you in the stretch.
Yeah.
But he gets out there and he always looks like, if you look at his victories, he always looks like he's going to get beat at the quarter pole.
I know.
He said they're just going to run right by him.
I know.
And the next thing you look, you say, well, he's still there. All right, he's still there. Now he's at the 8th pole. He's still there. And he's still there to finish.
Yeah.
If for some reason he just manages to hold you off.
Yeah.
My only hope with him now is that they don't take that Derby away from him.
Oh,
that would be an absolute shame.
I know. We're hoping that they don't. My gosh. Steve, we've only got a minute left. That flew by. Absolutely wonderful to have you with us and getting your input on these horses, especially as we're now looking towards the Breeders' Cup as the next really exciting series of races over that weekend in November, and we'll of course be there and bringing you all that coverage. So Steve, I want to thank you so much again, and we'll be talking to you very soon. I'm keeping up on secretariat.com and your stories, so make sure you find Steve on secretariat.com. You can go on Facebook. All of his stories are the best. They're brilliant, well written, as is he. Thank you, Steve, for being with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you. Take care, Louisa.
You too. Thanks. Bye-bye. Steve Haskin, Hall of Fame turf writer. We'll be right back on the Horse Talk Show in just a few minutes. Stay with us. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet. and our broadcast and television sponsor, Larson Hay, and also to our supporting sponsors, Equisafe, Nirvana Medical Spa, Showcase Properties of Central Florida, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, and Summit Joint Performance. World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Center Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Center now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
Owners know how much it takes to keep the barn mucked and spotless and the tack cleaned and our horses groomed to perfection, but we don't often take care of ourselves. Take time away from the barn busyness and do something for you. Equestrians don't ever do as much for themselves as they do for their horses. Now's the time to become a better, brighter you, just like your horse.
Style. Yeah. All right. So just cover the rest of you. All right. So tell me, what kind of brows you usually like? Do you like them feathered in? Do you like them dark and filled in? Or what do you usually do on a regular basis?
So something like what I had on when I arrived, which is, sort of feathery. I don't like them really heavy because I think it pushes you down, makes you look more like you're frowning. One of the things that's happened over the years is people have overwaxed.
They look wonderful. I love them.
Book your appointment now at Nirvana Medical Spa Ocala and get the eyebrows you've always dreamed of.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show. presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton in the studio with my dear friend Jody Everton from Chestnut Hill Remians and the Ocala Stirrups program. We love their horses, we love them. Wonderful community folks are just doing all that they can to help us get a bunch of things rolling. And I love the fact that she always makes me laugh, and we can always have a good time.
Always.
And I've had a rough week. Did I mention I've had a rough week?
You did mention, and this makes me very sad because you're just such a lovely person, and it bothers me when she has a spot of bother. I get very sad.
So all my life I have been, and actually Lee Kerr, I talked to Lee Kerr on the phone from Showcase Properties, my business partner and friend in the real estate, and he said to me on the phone, don't change who you are, Louisa. You've always loved and trusted people. And sometimes maybe that's too much, but you are who you are, and that's how you're going to be. But it's been all my life a problem because all my life I've trusted people. And all my life I have seen that there's a lot of people who don't have conscience, and there's a lot of people who don't have a check in their spirit when they do something wrong. And before I tell this story, because this half of the show is presented by Palm Chevrolet, I just want to let you know that this is not endorsed or sponsored in any way by Palm Chevrolet. This is my personal experience I want to share with you. The role that Palm Chevrolet plays in this is I've bought every vehicle for years and years from Angel at Palm Chevrolet, and I cannot say enough about a professional organization like Palm Chevrolet, that you can go and know you're in good, honest hands, know that they're going to protect their reputation, know that they're going to give you a good product and good service. And that's the only part that Palm Chevrolet has to do with this. This is not a Palm Chevrolet endorsed or sponsored story. I just want to say that before I start. This is from me to you guys, because I feel as horse people, we're always looking for trucks. And in my current situation and scenario, as most of you know, a driver speeding at 80 miles an hour, fleeing the police, ran into me in February of this year, totaled my beautiful Chevy Colorado that I got from Palm Chevrolet. It was wrapped at Loco Graphics with the show, and I'm still in the middle of this mess. This guy was uninsured, so I'm still in the middle of this subrogation from Blue Cross Blue Shield, who want their money back on what they paid from my Geico insurance. So I'm still waiting and waiting for this check to come from my uninsured motorist coverage so I can get a vehicle. In between, thought, let me just get a little Mini Cooper to run around in, even though I've still got way too much anxiety to be in a little Mini Cooper. But then some personal things in my life made me decide, no, not on the Mini Cooper. Let me go and get a used truck, reasonably priced, something that my son can afford to insure. He's going to be 18 next year, and I can give it to him once my insurance claim is taken care of.
Right.
And I can go to Palm Chevrolet and get the truck I want, and I'll have a nice older truck that Edward can afford to insure. Great first vehicle for him.
Sure.
So very hard to find. I looked everywhere because, as Angel told me at Palm, that trucks are very hard right now to find and they're very expensive. And in the interests of their reputation, Palm Chevrolet only sell newer model, really nice condition vehicles. And I was looking for more of like a first vehicle,
right?
You know, for a kid. And so I ended up having to go to Orlando to try to find something like that. And I connected with a guy who had what looked like a really spotlessly nice, clean truck. The outside of it looked beautiful. All the photographs passed. Sent me photos, videos, everything. I asked him better truck, under the truck, mechanical, state of the vehicle, everything. He sent me everything. He sent me a so-called Carfax report, which wasn't actually one, but he said it was. He sent me a Ford report with a big Ford logo on it that said it had been checked out, was structurally, mechanically sound, signed off on by a mechanic. That was Ford, an agent of Ford, which turns out it was not and is not and doesn't actually even exist at that address or phone number. But everything mechanically was checked, and tires and oil change and spark plugs and I mean everything, the mileage, the VIN number, everything matched. So I thought, wow, you know, I'm short of time, my schedule's very chaotic, I don't have time to do all this driving around, and I needed a vehicle. So the vehicle was delivered and appeared again to be everything it seemed to be, but it was making a rather loud noise that sounded like the exhaust manifold. So I was very concerned, got underneath to check and find out what was going on, and found that the entire frame of the vehicle was rusted out. Now, the only thing I've ever got under, as far as a vehicle goes in my life, is a horse trailer, for obvious reasons, because you're going to put a heavyweight animal in it. I never thought of getting under a vehicle. I have to be honest, I've never bought vehicles from anybody but reputable people who I didn't need to look at the frame of the vehicle. So I immediately contacted Mr. McCall and said, I'm very concerned. He said surface rust. So I'm showing you some surface rust now.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if you've ever seen surface rust before. I think I have. It doesn't look like surface rust.
It does not. No, it does not.
No, it doesn't. So I said to him, I'd like to bring this vehicle back. Maybe you can find another vehicle for me. You missed this somehow. I'd like to get a different vehicle. Or I would like a refund. And he agreed to a refund. So I drove the vehicle back. He was not available. And I handed the keys to one of his managers who agreed to take it back. He confirmed that he received it, and he took my FedEx number so that the money could be sent back to me overnight because I needed to find another vehicle. So I found another dealership, found a vehicle, put a deposit down on a sound vehicle, and waited for the FedEx. I got a notification that he had used my FedEx account to send the money to me, and got confirmation via text from him that it was on its way. When I got home that evening and discovered the FedEx envelope, there was no money in it. So I immediately called him and said, sir, I think you forgot to put the money in the envelope. No, it's as is. It's your vehicle. It'll be parked outside my lot with the keys in it, and you can come and get it, and if you don't, it'll be stolen. So on my journey with this vehicle, by the way, I forgot to mention that the Fender Flares started flying off the vehicle while I was driving it on the side of the road because they weren't attached properly. Yet another thing. And the loud ticking noise, which was actually the exhaust manifold that he told me was mechanically and structurally safe. So I went back with Ian to collect this vehicle last week because obviously otherwise it was going to be stolen and it was in my name. So I went back to get it, had an opportunity to chat to John's landlord who happened to be in passing, not sure what he was there for, and waited for a tow truck. So AAA came to collect the vehicle and transport it to Ocala. Now the end of the story here, it gets even worse, you wouldn't believe it, but AAA send a tow truck driver who loses the vehicle. He actually takes it to the wrong address in the dark, abandons it on the side of the road with the keys in it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm on the phone with AAA all night trying to find this vehicle, calling the tow truck driver, calling AAA who were telling me, don't worry, we'll find it. Don't worry, we'll find it. Guess what happened to the vehicle? It got impounded by a police officer and taken to a lot in Ocala, Tow Pros. And I can't say enough about Tow Pros. They did their job, 100%. They even came in on their day off on Saturday to get me this truck that I didn't even want. And I had to pay $400 to get it back. So that was my nightmare story. But one of the things I want to say about this is I've cried for 3 days over it. Oh, that's John McCall.
Here's a picture of him. You see this guy. Oh, yeah. Let us know.
1 minute.
We want to find this guy.
Yes, so Twin Eagle Motor Sales Auto Sales in Longwood. Yes.
Two thumbs way down.
Buyers beware. And look.
Don't.
Go to reputable. Even if Palm Chevrolet is not your dealership of choice, it's my personal one. Go to reputable people. And as I said, this is not endorsed or sponsored by Palm Chevrolet. This is my story. But I wanted to share it with you because I think it's buyer beware. Don't be stupid like Louisa, because this is the kind of thing. And I've cried for 3 days because of my stupidity. Got to wrap it up. Gigi's going. Yes, so we got to go. Whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world or not, happy horsing around till the next time, and thank you, Jody.